Hi, hello, welcome to or back to my channel. So today I am going to be doing a spring TBR, spring romance reading vlog. Don't really know what I'm going to call this yet. I hope you all enjoy, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe and let's get into it. Just want to give a disclaimer that I am not well at the moment. If you can't tell, I'm pretty stuffy and I'm not feeling the best. I am running on an hour of sleep right now. I am so tired. I just haven't been able to sleep at all, so please excuse that. Let's run through the books we're going to be reading in this video. So we're going to be reading Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. Finally, I literally had this on pre-order. When did this come out? I can't remember, but it was a long time ago now. And I still have yet to read it. I loved When in Rome so much. That's one of my favourite books. I gave it 5 stars. So far I am enjoying this one as well. I will give more updates in a minute. The second book we're going to read is The Dead Romantics. I am so excited to get into some Ashley Poston. I know she's coming out with a new book soon that sounds so freaking good. I love the fact that all her books are very much magical realism. It adds something a little bit special to her books and makes her a very unique and intriguing author to me. And I can't wait to finally read my first Ashley Poston. I decided to start off with The Dead Romantics just because I've heard so much about this. This is also on my spring TBR simply because of the cover. Like, are you kidding me? This is like spring vibes all over with the birds and the flowers at the bottom, the colour scheme. Everything about it is just screaming spring to me. I'm currently reading Practice Makes Perfect and this morning I got up to page 49, chapter 6. So far, loving it. Instantly, it's relatable, it's humorous, it's fun. I love Sarah Adams so much. When in Rome was so cute, was so fluffy, such a quick read. Love the characters, and I feel like I'm gonna love the characters in here as well. I loved Annie in the first book. Like, she was such a sweetheart and I'm just so excited to see her story. And this girl which has a flower shop screams spring, and it's between like the shy introverted girl and the serial dater, and he's teaching her how to date and then they fall in love. Like, that's just perfection. Are you kidding me? Like, I feel like I'm gonna absolutely love this. I'm already really enjoying it. So we'll see. I don't have much to say because I'm only just at the start. I feel like these two are just gonna have such a funny, fun, awkward, cute dynamic because of how different they are. I feel like it's gonna make up for such a good book, so I'm excited. I hope I get at least 100 pages in today.
Under the stars up in the sky, directions hard to find. Under the stars up in the sky, I got lost at night. Under the stars up in the sky, directions hard to...
Hi, so I'm not looking the best right now, but it is what it is. But yesterday I ended up getting a lot further into Practice Makes Perfect than I thought I would. I got to page 154. I am really enjoying this, don't get me wrong, but I do kind of agree with what people are saying that this book doesn't feel like When in Rome because the couple in it, it's very physical. Like, there's not much of an emotional connection and I feel like it's moving so quickly, like the relationship in the book, and there's no development. But it is making up for it in a way because I feel like the dynamic between these two is super fun and there's a lot of funny scenes. I've been giggling a lot. I do love the characters, especially love Annie as a character, and I love this side of her that he brings out, but I feel like I wish there was more of an emotional depth to this story. This is feeling like a 3.5 so far, but I will say it is such a fun, quick read and I'm having a good time, and that's all I can really ask for. It's really entertaining. I just don't think once I finish this book I'm going to be really thinking about it. Like I always think about When in Rome, and this one, I'm not getting those vibes. I can see why people are disappointed in it, but it still feels like a Sarah Adams book because of the humour, and it's really funny and the banter's really good, but I just really wish there was more of an emotional connection between these two. It might come once I read more of the book, but I don't know, right now it's just very physical. I'm hoping to finish this book today and I feel like I can because it is so quick. Sarah Adams is perfect for just a nice quick binge read because her books are so short and easy. It feels like it's a lot of telling and not showing in this book. Like, he's saying all these things about her and she's saying all these things about him, but I'm not seeing why they feel this way, apart from the fact that they'll love the way each other looks. So yeah, but I'm gonna keep reading and I'll update you when I have more thoughts. This is like a minor spoiler, so if you don't want to know anything about this book, then skip. One really sweet thing that Will does for Annie is he always takes photos of her without her knowing, because he wants her to have these photos when he leaves town. And I think that's so sweet because he wants her to know how pretty she is. And literally started doing this all because she said that she doesn't have any photos of herself. And that is just so freaking sweet.
Under the stars up in the sky, I don't know how to take this, I don't want to break this. We're living in the moment, we're living in the moment. Your head is on my shoulder, forever getting older. Baby, it's you and I. Yeah, we're stars in the sky.
Hi, so it is Friday now. I didn't end up doing any reading yesterday. I did finish Practice Makes Perfect on Wednesday and I ended up giving this a 3.5. It was nowhere near as good as the first book in this series, but I did still have such good time with it and I would recommend it. I think towards the end, like the last 100 pages, I was loving it so much more, and I think we got a bit more of the emotional connection between these two, but it was very, very physical, which sometimes I don't mind that, but with it being a Sarah Adams, I wasn't expecting to go into this and it be so physical. I thought it'd be more of an emotional connection, a very cute rom-com like When in Rome one. It just wasn't that. With all the banter and the flirting in this was really good. Like, Sarah Adams knows how to write her charming male main characters, but I need that emotional depth as well. I wish we got to see more of that emotional connection and more of the sides of them where they were doing like cute things together and not just all the attraction. I don't know, it was just very attraction filled. Literally finished this like a day ago and I barely remember it. I did say in my little notes that towards the end, like the last 100 pages, as I said, I was enjoying it more, and that made me want to give it a 4-star, but when I look at the book as a whole and the couple, it's definitely not a 4-star read, but I do think it gets a lot better as you get further into the story. One thing that made this book for me was the snippets of Noah and Amelia. That was so good, and then also the sisters in this. I love the sisters in this so much. I think they're so cute. This book had more of a deep connection. It definitely would have been a 4-star because these two characters were amazing and I loved the push and pull between them. Like, yeah, there was so much potential with this book and I feel like the characters were so amazing. I just wish there was more to it, you know, and I feel I'm just a bit disappointed is what I'm trying to get at. Like, I feel like there were so many good elements to this story and good elements to this book, but it just needed that extra depth that would have made it even better. But yeah, I'd highly recommend Sarah Adams. I want to read all her books. I've read 2 of them now and I still want to continue reading her books. I think the small town in these books as well is so cute, so yeah, I would recommend it. Now, the next book we're going to be reading is The Dead Romantic. I am really excited for this, especially because I've just finished One Day. I was literally gonna start reading this morning. I literally woke up super early, but I decided to watch the first episode of One Day, and I've literally been sat on my bed all morning, and it's now 2:40 and I've just finished the show. Like, I literally just binged the whole show and it broke me to pieces, so I just really need a rom-com right now, or a cute romance, and I feel like this is going to deliver on that. This is going to be what I need after finishing One Day, because that One Day literally just ripped my heart to shreds. And no, I haven't read the book. I'm not really interested in reading the book, so I was just like, you know what, I'm going to watch the series. I need to read a cute romance, so that's what I'm going to do. I think from what people have said, Ashley Potter's books have like a deeper element to them. She's quite good with her magical realism and stuff like that, so I'm excited to read a romance with a bit of magical realism in it as well. All I know is it's about a ghost and a woman falling in love, and I'm pretty sure the ghost is her editor, the ghost is her editor and she's a ghost writer. And that's all I know. So, yeah. Kind of intrigued. She falls in love with a ghost. How's that gonna work? I don't know. I'm intrigued, I'm excited, so let's get into the Dead Romantics. Hi, so it is Saturday now. I did the clip yesterday and I ended up not reading it all because I fell asleep, had a long nap, woke up, I was still exhausted, stayed up for like an hour or two and then went to bed. Like, I was just really exhausted yesterday. Sometimes I have days like that because of my Marfan syndrome and things like that, which is to do with my health. But today I am awake, I'm alive, I've had a good sleep, so hopefully we can get some good reading done. This morning I have read 66 pages of The Dead Romantics, and this isn't what I expected so far. It's a lot more deeper than what I thought it was. I thought it was going to be very rom-com-y, but it's not at all. It's very deep and has a lot of deep elements to it, whilst also having lightheartedness as well. But in those 66 pages, a lot has happened. Let's just say that. So far, I'm really, really enjoying Florence's character. I think she's such a fun female main character. She's very interesting because she has this like ability where she can see ghosts. She has a really interesting past and we're learning about that. She's just a very, very interesting character. And we have met the love interest in here as well. And I love him so far. He seems really, really charming, I'll just say that. I'll try and say what this is about. So Florence is a ghostwriter to a really famous romance writer, and she's in a bit of a predicament because she's struggling to write her last romance that's supposed to be in this contract where she has to write 4 romances for this famous writer. She goes to her workplace, she's got a new editor, I think. Is it her editor? Yeah. And she meets Benji, who is the love interest. He refuses to give her a extension on her book deadline. She's basically like, okay, I'm gonna lose my career now because I can't write this book. And she's in like a big predicament. She doesn't know what to do. She's scared, she's worried. And then, well, she's out on a night out with her friend. She gets a call from her mum and a tragedy happens. She has to head home. And then when she gets home, I haven't actually got to this bit yet, but when she gets home, she doesn't expect to find a ghost at her front door. That's not just any ghost, it is her new very hot editor. So she's confused, like, what the hell happened to Benji? Why is he a ghost? Why is she now seeing him as a ghost? And why the hell is he at her front door? I am very, very, very excited to see how that storyline goes. I'm excited to get to that part. I'm assuming it'll happen very soon because where I'm up to now, she's literally about to go home. So I'm intrigued. I feel like it is going to be rom-com-y in some parts whilst also having deeper elements. I think a lot of people say Ashley Foster's books are like literary fiction. I think I could be wrong there, like literary fiction with romance in it, but I don't know, I could be wrong there. But so far it is feeling like that. It's feeling like very much a character study on Florence. Like, we've only really learned about her so far. We don't know much about Benji, but I think as we get further in the story we will find out more about him, and that's going to be exciting. Also, when they first meet each other, they get on so well. They both have like very similar humour and they're making each other laugh from the get-go, so that was super, super cute. But obviously she had to let him know that she's hoping to get an extension and he can't let her, so there's a bit of tension there.
You say that you're leaving me, the same thing you said last night. You can't do it peacefully, you won't go without a fight. So when I go,
hi, so it is Monday now. I was hoping to finish The Dead Romantics over the weekend, but that just didn't happen because I ended up not feeling great yesterday. I did get a bit of reading done yesterday, but not much at all. But this morning I read like, I think like 60-ish pages, and I'm now up to page 200 of The Dead Romantics. Oh, I thought this was going to be a 5-star, but I don't think it's going to be. I mean, it could end up being a 4-star, but I went into this thinking it were a romance. And it is a romance, but it's very, very focused on the grief element in this book, which I don't mind grief in books, but when it is the forefront of the book, I don't enjoy it as much, if that makes sense. especially when I'm going into a book thinking it's a romance and then all I'm getting is loads of grief and writing about grief. I will say though, Ashley Poston's writing is beautiful. That's what I've noticed, like her writing is so beautiful. And this book, just because I rate books on enjoyment, and I am enjoying it, but the bits I'm enjoying are the romance, like when these two are together. I'm literally in love. I love them together. I love the funny banter because he's a ghost. It's really cute, and I love those parts of the book. It's mostly following Florence and her grief and her overcoming her grief, which I think is such a beautiful plot. I think I went into it with the wrong expectations. But I do love, there's so many things that I do love about this book. Like I do love Florence and I love the grief element in some parts, but I feel like it's too much. And I feel like that's what we're mostly focused on rather than the romance, and I'd rather be focusing on the romance. Now we're a bit further in though, we are getting more of the romance, and the romance is so much fun because she's trying to help him figure out what his unfinished business is and why he's haunting her, and that's a really fun element to the book and makes it a really unique plotline. But I wish we were getting more of it. I'm hoping in these last 150 pages we get quite a lot of that plotline. I get so excited when these two are together. Like I love those parts so much, and I love Benji's character as well. He's super sweet. It's just hard to enjoy it when it's mostly about grief, you know? That's not what I wanted to read about. I feel like if I read this at a different time, knowing what it was, I probably would have enjoyed it more. Sometimes you just read books at the wrong time. If you want a spring book, this is really good for spring, I will say. I picked the right book for this video because this is very spring vibes. Anyway, I'm gonna finish this book hopefully today, and I probably won't update until I'm finished now.
I know you'll follow me. I don't want slamming doors. No, just wait and see. You'll feel it naturally. There's no one else I see. I know you'll follow me. I don't want to take this. I don't want to break this. We're living in the moment. We're living in the moment. Your head is on my shoulder. Whenever getting older, baby, it's you.
Why do I feel like this isn't going to have a happy ending? I don't get how this is going to work out. Because he's a ghost. But there was just like a moment. Sorry about the TV, I always have friends on in the background when I read. But by the way, I have had blue raspberry sweets. That's why my mouth is blue. But they've just had a really sweet moment. I'm not going to fully say what it is in case you don't want to. It's not really a spoiler, but obviously I don't want to say too much. But it involved it involved her family, and it was so sweet. How is it going to work out between them? I really hope it does, but I just don't know how. One thing I do have something in my mind that it could be, but I don't know if it would make sense. But I was thinking maybe it could come back, but I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe I'm right. I will let you know if I am. I hope I'm right. I hope it's something along those lines. Or unless somehow it can work out between them where he's a ghost, but I don't know how that would work. But we'll see, I guess. Hi, so it is Tuesday now, but I did end up finishing The Dead Romantics last night, and I am so happy to tell you that I think I'm going to give this book a 4-star. I can't remember when I updated you. We're 200 pages in? I think so. And I still, when I were 200 pages in, I was feeling like it was going to be like a 3.75. I'm still a bit conflicted on whether I want to give it a 3.75 or a 4-star, but I think I'm going to give it a 4-star just because I think the way this story went was so beautiful, and the grief element, even though it was very much the forefront of this story and that's not what I was expecting, it's not exactly what I wanted going into this book, it was still so beautifully written. And I think the way grief is expressed in this is expressed in such a hopeful way, I think is the best word. Like how Ali Hazelwood said on the front that it's funny, breathtaking and hopeful. It is also very funny. Like there's a lot of witty banter in here. It's got like sadder elements, but it's still really light-hearted, which I really appreciate. I love books that do that. I also love that Florence is such a unique character. The romance in this is so unique. The whole plotline is so unique. And I think her family is so unique. Like, this story made up for such a different plotline, and it's very different to other romances I've read. So I think Ashley Poston is definitely doing something well, because all her stories seem to have such unique plotlines. She's very creative, and I appreciate her for that. And I just loved these two together as well, like when they were together. Towards those last 100 pages it was mostly just them two, and I think their development was done in a very good way, I guess, and I did really enjoy it. I loved the ending, I loved where the story went, and yeah, I think it was really, really sweet. Obviously, very slow start, I will admit. I do think once you get towards the middle of the book, it starts to speed up a bit and gets really, really interesting, and you get more of the romance once you're in the middle of the book. The dynamic with Florence's family was so interesting. The moonwalks, just, yeah, there was so many sweet things in this. I think as well, this made up for a good story, because these two, obviously because he was a ghost, they couldn't touch or anything, so they really, really developed that emotional connection together, and I think that was really, really good and made up for such a satisfying ending, because they really, really had such a deep connection and such a different and interesting connection. So yeah, I really, really love these two. I wish we got more of them. That's my only problem. Like, I do wish we got more of these two. It was very much, do not go into this book thinking it's just going to be romance, because it's definitely not. I would classify this as a literary fiction with romance, because the grief is mostly what this book is about. I think I'm going to finish this reading vlog here. I was going to read It Ends With Us, but I feel like this vlog's probably going to be long enough because I ramble too much. Two really, really great books. Obviously enjoyed this one a little bit more. These are very different though. Like, this is just romance, 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 whereas I feel like this has a lot more depth. But they're still both really, really good books, and I would recommend them both, especially for spring. I chose correct for this vlog. These are very, very spring vibes, especially this one. Like, I feel like there was so much explanation of weather and flowers in this book. And from what I remember, like, I felt like she was explaining the weather a lot in this, and explaining the things around her a lot in this. So this is really good for spring. But this one obviously is as well, because the character owns a flower shop. Spring, flowers, you know, it goes. They both have flowers on the cover, which are the perfect spring covers. But yeah, I'm so glad I got some of my spring TBR out of the way. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!